welcome back again. This is Fox. In today's video we're going to be talking about how you can set up your first aluminium refinement. So this is it. This is turning bauxite, coal, a bit of quartz and some copper into aluminium alclad sheets, aluminium casings and some empty fluid tanks. These fluid tanks are being overflowed from the aluminium casings and sheets. I just wanted some in stock in case I ever need any. I haven't used any yet. But yeah, these are the three things that you can make from aluminium ingots. So to get this going, you will need bauxite, coal, quartz and copper. Bauxite comes in. These are all vanilla recipes, by the way. This setup is all vanilla. You need a little bit of water as well. So the bauxite comes into refineries and use it to make alumina solution. You get a byproduct of silica and it needs water. Now, at the time of making this, I was limited to 480 belts, so I'm bringing 480 bauxite per minute in. It is just there. It's a good spot on the map, this is. Bauxite is here. Quartz was down here in a cave. The coal and the copper were quite close also, so everything you need. So 480 bauxite. It comes split both ways into these 4 refineries. Each one of these needs 120 bauxite and 180 water. This produces 120 alumina solution per refinery, so it's a 1-to-1. So 480 bauxite comes in, we're making 480 alumina solution. We're getting some silica as a byproduct. The silica we'll talk about later on, but for now it's getting bussed together and sent to the foundries. So bauxite in, water in, alumina solution out. The alumina solution from these 2 refineries is then getting bussed together in this pipe and sent directly into the refinery, making the aluminium scrap. Now these are all base ratios. You can see at 100% speed it needs 120, 100% speed 120, and it outputs 240. So it's 2 alumina solution refineries to 1 alumina solution refinery turning it into the scrap. So it's a real good ratio, a 480 belt. Another real good one, which we'll be going over in another video, is when you use some alternate recipes. Multiples of 600 works really well for that, but 480 belts work really well with the base recipe. So the alumina solution comes in here. This then gets mixed with coal. This needs 120. We have 2 of these refineries, so 240 coal, 480 bauxite, 240 coal. Coal gets mixed with the alumina solution to make aluminium scrap. We're making 720 aluminium scrap, 360 per side. Now you do get a byproduct of water from these aluminium scrap refineries. Now this is 120 water. Now if you remember, the alumina solution refineries need 180 each. So all I've done is I've outputted the water as a byproduct into the refinery that's next to it. So the water comes out, over, down and in. This needed 180. We're making 120 from the aluminium scrap, so this only needs 60 water then to keep it running. So all I've done is I've got the main water pipe coming in. This has got way more in it than I need. It's just the way I do things. I've got a valve here set to limit this to 60. That means that the 120 from the electrode from the aluminium scrap comes in, gets mixed with the 60 and then makes it to the 180 that is needed. Same this side. This one was a lot more simpler because the water pipe wasn't on the other side of the bauxite, so pipe straight in, needs 180, producing 120. The valve only letting 60 in. This says 59.1, but it should be 60. We then make the aluminium scrap, and then simply the aluminium scrap, we're keeping everything split. Half of it went this way into these foundries, half of it went this way into these foundries. And this is the base recipe for aluminium ingots. You need aluminium scrap and silica. The ratio is 90 per minute scrap, 75 silica. Now if you remember, we're making 360 aluminium scrap. If you divide that by 90, it's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That means we needed 300 silica to keep these 4 foundries running. Now if you remember, I said we were going to come back to this. The alumina solution refineries output 50 each. So we're making 100 silica per side when we need 300. That means we still need 200 silica to get the scrap refineries working. So for that I have simply got raw quartz, coming up and in, split into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 constructors. The ratio is 37.5. This is how many that you need. You need 5 on full and then 1 on 33.35 to make the 200 quarts. So these 200 get bussed together on this manifold, sent together, mixed together with the 50 from there and the 50 from there to give the 300. And then they gradually just overflow until everything's working perfectly. And then these 4 refineries are now putting 60 aluminium ingots each. So we make 240 aluminium ingots per side. So that's 480. So the base recipes, if you use the base recipes like I have, whatever bauxite you put in is the amount of ingots you will get out at the end. So 480 bauxite in, 480 ingots, 240 per side. And I simply just separated them into 2. So the 240 ingots here, we mixed with copper ingots to make the alclad aluminium sheets. Copper ingots being made over here. Copper came down the middle. Make these. Comes over here. This is the base recipe again for alclad aluminium sheets. It's the only recipe, if I remember right. Whoops, that's the casing. Yeah, it's the only recipe. So, aluminium ingots, copper ingots, alclad aluminium sheets. If you want to know the ratio of this, it's 3 to 1. So, if we've got 480 copper, you need 160. 480 aluminium ingots divided by 2 was 240. We only needed, I think it's like 80 or so copper. It wasn't an awful lot, or 120 or something stupid. Each one of these needed 10 ingots. That's 80 ingots, and it's a 1 to 1. Yeah, so 80 copper turned into 80 copper ingots mixed with the 240 aluminium ingots makes us 240 aluminium sheets per minute. 30 times 8, 3 times 8 is 24. 240 alclad aluminium sheets. The rest, this again is making 240 aluminium ingots. Simply goes into 3 constructors. 90, 90 and a 60. This makes 40, 160 alclad aluminium sheets a minute. And then I've got the output here so that when these aluminium sheets are full, the ingots overflow into these 3 constructors making fluid tanks. You don't have to do this fluid tanks if you want. I mean, if it was going to be a more permanent setup, you would probably sacrifice some of these alclad aluminium sheets over here. 240 sheets is way more than you're going to need. All you really use them for is belts at this stage of the factory. They don't really, I'm pretty sure they're not really used for much else, but yep, that's it. Real straightforward. 480 bauxite, 120 coal, 80 copper. The number of quarts eludes me. It's 45, 90, 112.5, 120, 240 quarts. 244 quarts, 240 coal, 480 bauxite, 80 copper, and a bit of water. I managed to fit these 3 water extractors in this little puddle. This was the perfect place to do it. None of this water in this river was deep enough to get an extractor on. So yeah, as you can see, the copper, the quartz was down in a cave. That was the biggest pain. There's 2 pure quartz nodes. I mean, we can fly over there quickly and take a look. This video is it's only 9 minutes long, so I'll show you where the quartz is. It's 500 meters, but it's a sheer drop at the end of it. I had to do some finagling to get it up. So straight down this giant elevator highway, and then we've got 2 pure quartz nodes in here. This is 8.480 at the minute, but as you can see, it keeps stalling. We only need 240. Another pure node, 2 pure quartz nodes in this cave. yeah, the bauxite, you saw that. The copper was even closer, and the coal was even closer than that. So this is a real good place on the map for this. Just at the, I call this like the red. It's like a red marshland, bamboo forest. What you used to call it, whatever it is, the red forest. But yeah, that's it. That's the base recipes, and that is how to set up your first aluminium refinery. In the next video, we will probably be going over the late game version because there's some really good alts that can streamline this and make it a lot easier. One of them sacrifices coal and uses petroleum coke. Coal is a rare resource. I class it as a rare resource. There's not as much as it as there is oil, put it that way. There's one that lets you make the aluminium ingot, aluminium ingots direct from the scrap. You don't need the silica. And there's one that cuts out the need for the silica in this stage of it as well. It just simply turns bauxite into a alumina solution. So we'll be going over that in the next video, a more advanced version. But yeah, as always, please, if you enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up. We'll see you in the next one. And yeah, thanks for watching.